Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Fola. This is your first time stopping by, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by today. It's the cold day in Halifax today, but you know what? Let's talk about money. Today we are going to be talking about probably the greatest account that Canada has ever provided to its citizens, and it's called the TFSA. Tax-free savings account. If you live in Canada, you've most likely heard about this account, but if you don't or you haven't heard about this account, don't worry, I got you. We're talking about TFSA today. If you're interested, stay tuned and let's get into the video. So the TFSA, tax-free savings account, it's easier to say TFSA. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to keep saying TFSA. So the TFSA was introduced in 2009 to help Canadians save more. The basic premise of this account is that any growth you have in the account is tax-free. For example, if you put $10,000 into your TFSA and it turns to $500,000, that money is tax-free. And this is why I say it is probably the greatest account that Canada has ever introduced. Now, although the name says it's tax-free savings account, the TFSA can hold more than savings. The TFSA is like a bucket where you can put your savings, you can invest in, which means you can invest in your TFSA. You can buy stocks in your TFSA, you can buy bonds in your TFSA, you can buy ETFs in your TFSA, you can buy GICs in your TFSA, you can buy mutual fund in your TFSA. So TFSA is not just a savings account where you open with RBC and you put $200 in it and you just leave it like that. No, you're not using your TFSA to its maximum potential if you're just treating it like a savings account. You need to treat it like a bucket that can hold multiple things. So some people say that the account was named wrongly. It should have been a tax-free investment account, which I 100% agree with, but they've already done it. Now I'm telling you, your TFSA is not just a savings account. It is an account where you can also invest in. To be eligible to open a TFSA, you have to be at least 18 years old, you have to be a Canadian resident, and you have to have a social insurance number. You don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to be a permanent resident. You just have to live in Canada and you're eligible to open the TFSA. So for all of my international students, you can open a TFSA as long as you live in Canada and you're more than 18 years old. There's a contribution room for the TFSA every year. For this year, 2023, the contribution room is $6,500. Since the TFSA started in 2009, if you turned 18 in 2009 and you lived in Canada, you have a contribution room of $88,000. That's if you've never contributed to your TFSA. And I'm going to break it down and explain to you how I got that $88,000. From 2009 to 2012, the contribution room for the TFSA was $5,000. So 2009, $5,000, 2010, $5,000, 2011, $5,000, 2012, $5,000. And then in 2013 and 2014, they increased the contribution room to $5,500. So 2013 and 2014 is $5,500 each. 2015, I wasn't in Canada yet, I don't know what happened, but the contribution room was $10,000. So the contribution room for 2015 was $10,000. From 2016 to 2018, the contribution room for TFSA was $5,500. So 2016, 2017, and 2018 was also $5,500. And then from 2019 to 2022, the contribution was $6,000 per year. So 2019, 2020, 21, 22, $6,000. And now we're in 2023, it was increased by $500. The contribution room for this year is $6,500. If we add up all of those numbers, that makes up $88,000. So if you turned 18 in Canada in 2009, you've never contributed to your TFSA, and you have a social insurance number, you have an $88,000 TFSA room right now. For people like us who moved to Canada in 2017 and we've not been in Canada since 2009, I'm going to tell you what my contribution room is later in the video. I'll break it down to you, but for now I just want to get the facts out about what TFSA is. Another good thing about the TFSA is that if you cannot use the room, it accumulates. So for example, if you did not use your $6,000 from last year and bring it forward and now you have more this year, it doesn't go away. And like we said initially, your withdrawal is tax-free. Your gains, your contribution, everything in your TFSA is tax-free. Put $10,000 and turn it to $500,000. When you're withdrawing that money, it is tax-free. So the good thing is that whatever you withdraw from your TFSA converts to a contribution room in the next year. I'm gonna break that down later in the video, but just know that the instance where you contributed $10,000 and it turned to $500,000, if you withdraw that $500,000, you cannot contribute it again in the current year. But next year, now your room has gone up and you have an extra $500,000 in your room. However, if you over contribute to your TFSA, the CRA will charge you 1% interest every month. If your room is $88,000 and you over contribute and put $90,000, the CRA will charge you 1% interest on the difference of $2,000 that you've over contributed. So you want to make sure that you know your contribution limits, and you can see this by going into your CRA account. It's not always accurate. It's not accurate for me, for example, so I'm gonna say that maybe for people who were not 18 in 2009 in Canada, it may not be accurate for them, but you can at least get an overview of what your contribution room is. So because there's a penalty for over contributing to your TFSA, you have to track how much you contribute every year. You have to know at the beginning of the year how much your room is and how much you have to contribute, so you don't have to pay the 1% penalty that the CRA will ask of you if you over contribute. So now that we've gotten the basics of the TFSA out of the way, we already know what it is and how it operates. I'm going to use myself as an example and just paint scenarios for you, share with you my contribution limit and paint some examples for you. So let's start. I moved to Canada in August of 2017, and even though I had turned 18 before 2017, I wasn't living in Canada. I wasn't a Canadian resident. I didn't have a social insurance number. So I am not eligible to have that $88,000 room that who had lived in Canada since they turned 18 have. So how much do I have in contribution room, assuming that I've never contributed to my TFSA? Let's start. So I'm not going to claim the 2017 contribution room, because I called CRA and they couldn't explain to me for some reason. Their reps didn't have the information. So I went on CRA's website to see if I am eligible to claim the 2017 room or not. But this is what I see on their website. It says that the TFSA contribution room will not accumulate for any year during which the individual is a non-resident of Canada throughout the entire year. So it says that that room doesn't accumulate if you're not a resident of Canada throughout the entire year. And because I came to Canada in August of 2017, I think this applies to me. So to be on the safe side and not over contribute, I am not claiming 2017. So I start claiming contribution room in 2018. In 2018, the contribution room for TFSA was $5,500. So let's put that to the side. Maybe I'm going to do some maths on the side. I don't know. So from 2019 to 2022, that's 4 years, the contribution room was $6,000 each year, which means 6,000 multiplied by 4 is 24,000. So now I have $31,500 in contribution room. And now that we are in 2023, the contribution room is $6,500. If we add all of that together, it means that I moved to Canada in August 2017 have a contribution room of $36,000. If I'd never contributed to my TFSA ever in my life, I can dump $36,000 into my TFSA right now. So you have to do the maths for yourself. If you moved to Canada last year, 2022, because we are not counting it, you would only have $6,500 in contribution room for this year. If you move to Canada January 1 of 2023, I would assume that you get the contribution room of this year. So that is how I have calculated it for myself. So you can also calculate it for yourself that way. Now let's do some advanced calculation, advanced scenario, and just see how it turns up. So an example that I'm going to use is that I moved to Canada in 2017, right? I don't start accumulating room until 2018. Let's assume that I never contributed anything in 2018 or 2019, and I just want to start contributing in 2020. So by 2020, I have a contribution room of $17,500, and the breakdown is easy. $5,500 from 2018, $6,000 from 2019, and $6,000 from 2020. That's a contribution room of $17,500. Assuming in 2020, I dumped $10,000 into an investment in my TFSA. So I opened a TFSA account and I invested $10,000 into it. That means that I have $10,000 invested in my TFSA and $7,500 remaining room that I can still add money to it. That's how we're seeing it. Now in 2021, there's a new room of $6,000. So which means that I have $10,000 invested in my TFSA. I had $7,500 from 2020, and now there's a new $6,000. $7,500 plus $6,000 is $13,500. It means that I have a room of $13,500. I can add $13,500 to my TFSA with no penalty in 2021. However, in 2021, my $10,000 that I invested that year turned to $20,000. And I'm like, oh my God, I've made a lot of profit and I need $20,000 to buy a new car. Well, let me withdraw that money that I put in my TFSA. What has happened is that my $10,000 has turned into $20,000, tax-free. I am withdrawing my $20,000. I don't owe the government anything. That extra $10,000 that I've made on it, I am a baller. It's my money. Now, if I take that money out, what it means is that the only amount that I can contribute back into my TFSA in that year is still the $13,500 that I had at the beginning of the year. 2 months later, I realized that I don't need to buy a car anymore. I got a new job and I got an official vehicle. So the $20,000 that I withdrew, I shouldn't have taken it out. I should have just left it. Can I put that $20,000 back into my TFSA? The answer is no, because I only have a room of $13,500. So if I put back $20,000 into my TFSA, the government is gonna charge me interest on the difference between $20,000 and $13,500, which is $6,500. The government will charge me 1% every month on $6,500. So to be on the safe side, I have $20K cash and I want to put it back. I don't need it now. I can only contribute $13,500 into my TFSA in year 2021. Now, because I'm a smart girl, I put my $13,500 into my TFSA and I put the remaining $6,500 into a high interest savings account to just keep making interest and wait for the new year. But let me tell you, the best part about TFSA is that in 2022, I don't just get a new $6,000 room. I get $20,000. The money we withdrew from 2021, I get it as a withdrawal room, $20,000, plus the new yearly contribution room, $6,000. So in 2022, I get a room of $26,000. So what has happened is that because my initial $10,000 that I invested that year had grown to $20,000, it has expanded my TFSA. Now I can bring that room expansion into a new year and still get the fresh contribution room in the new year. So I can have my $20,000 room that I withdrew and $6,000 for the new year. And this is how people use the TFSA. You would see some people have a TFSA room of $500,000. This is because their money has grown, they have withdrawn it, and in the following year, they can use that room, that growth that they've had to get new room. This also applies to losses. So let's use an example of the $10,000 that I contributed. Imagine I contributed $10,000 back in 2020, and due to the market wasn't good enough. My $10,000 dropped to $5,000. And I was like desperate, I withdrew the money. In 2022, I am only getting $5,000 in contribution room from the previous year, which means I've lost a contribution room of $5,000 because I withdrew my losses. So in as much as it is good for when you make gain, if you also withdraw when you make losses, you are losing contribution room. Remember, the initial contribution that we made was $10,000. If it grows to $20,000, you've gained an extra $10,000 contribution room. If your money went from $10,000 to $5,000, you've lost $5,000 in contribution room. So you want to make sure that in your TFSA, you are not withdrawing at a loss. Make sure, try to withdraw at a gain so you can have more contribution room instead of less contribution room if you have to withdraw at all. Now, to round this video up, I'm just going to give you a simple formula to calculate your TFSA. Your contribution room for the year that you are in right now is any unused contribution room that you've carried forward from last year, plus the new room that the government has provided in the year you are in, plus anything you withdrew from your TFSA last year. Simple as ABC. Always remember that when you're calculating your TFSA contribution room. Like I said, you can always see your contribution room in the CRA website. It's not always accurate. It wasn't accurate for me, but it might be accurate for you. If you're confused at all, go to your CRA account to see your contribution room, or give the CRA a call and they may be able to explain better for you. I hope this video was quite explanatory. It has to do with a lot of numbers. I'm also going to try to include some visuals because numbers can be confusing, but I hope you really enjoyed this video and you understand the TFSA a little bit better now. If you live in Canada, especially if you're an immigrant in Canada, take advantage of the TFSA. Invest in your TFSA, let that money grow tax-free and build a little bit of wealth. That is how people here build wealth. I am giving you the tips now to how Canadians build wealth. Build wealth, invest in your TFSA. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section. I am always open to answering your questions. No question is stupid. I'm gonna answer it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.